Hello, hello. Welcome to episode 23 of Baki Taki. This one's the real attack. Every other week's been a fake episode building up to this one. This was a great episode. I sort of forgot how many fun things happen in this one, which is great coming off last week's clip show, basically. But to help me dissect this episode, we have a new guest, my friend Wilf.
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
Hello, everybody.
Yes.
All thousands of you.
Oh yes. It's definitely in the definitely in the 4 digits.
Hopefully, yeah.
You know, it's funny. Actually, I'm gonna check in real time right now. Last time I checked, the podcast had 999 downloads.
That's pretty good on Spotify.
Cross platforms, but you know.
Hey, not bad.
Yeah. And it is now... Nope, it's still 999. Well, next week we'll check it.
That's a pretty big number, honestly.
It's one of the biggest I know, yeah. It's up there with 4,000 and a million. Anywho, so Wilf, before we jump into the show, I have 2 questions that I always ask my new guests, just so the audience gets a chance to know you. So first off, other than Baki, what shows are you currently watching?
I'm currently catching up on all the Marvel stuff that I've missed. Basically what happened was, I watched Parasite in December 2019, and then COVID happened, and I did not go into a movie theater until The Batman came out. So that was like 2 years of Marvel that I missed. So recently, I watched Loki, I watched Hawkeye, that was really good. Apart from that, I haven't really been watching any TV, and I'm very behind on it. I want to start watching The Rehearsal. That seems like a lot of fun.
Oh, The Rehearsal is really good. I also like Loki. I wasn't a huge fan of Hawkeye, mostly because
Hawkeye was the one where I was like, oh crap, Falcon and the Winter Soldier introduced like a major character, I'm gonna have to watch Hawkeye. I feel like most people kind of begrudgingly picked it up, but I really enjoyed it. It was my favorite.
My problem with it is, like, everything on paper is good. It's just, like, begrudging is the word I would use to describe Jeremy Renner. Like, he just seems like such a curmudgeon, and he's just...
I thought it was really good.
Ugh.
This is the first Christmas we've had together in years.
I love you guys. I'm making up for some lost time.
I think it works with the character, though. I mean, he's just trying to see his family. He's like, I don't even take these mafia guys seriously. Now I'm like, I might die. I don't know. I thought he and Haley Steinfeld were really great.
Don't worry about that time I killed people for like 5 years. I just want to see my family.
Yeah, that's true. Well, he did what he had to do, though. That's what he said, I think.
Did he? Did he have to do?
I don't know. He was mad his family died. Cut him some slack.
Oh man. Anyway, question number 2. Before watching this episode, what did you know about Baki?
I know that you like it, and you said it was really violent, and I think I kind of forgot about that. And then it opened with like he was like throwing teeth at him. It was really weird.
I was gonna bring that up because I think you probably have the best opening shot of just a man being assaulted with dust and teeth. What did you think when the episode started?
I mean, first of all, there was that crazy title sequence where they had, I mean, what is that, like metal plus like punk rock plus like synth pop, just kind of assaulting you from every angle.
Yeah.
And then just like a muscular hunk doing his thing.
That's Baki.
It seems like they tested out like a 3D model or whatever the character, and they were like, all right, let's just put that in. So that was a lot to handle.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, the guy seems to be pulling teeth out of the ground and hitting the guy with it. We don't even know his name. And the Russian guy, I know he's meant to be Russian because he calls him Ruski, which is, I felt like people stopped saying that like with our parents' generation.
It felt pretty derogatory whenever he called him
It really
Ruski.
does.
So face me like a man, huh? What do you mean, Ruski?
And then I only know from the credits that his name's Sikorsky. They don't say there's like one name revealed in this entire episode. Basically, I was as in the dark by the end as I was from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, back to your question. Yeah, the beginning was pretty crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, just in case you need help with the names, yeah, Sikorsky's the Russian and Gaia is the guy throwing teeth at him.
Is
If
that
you're-
just like a Naruto reference? Because like Gaara is meant to be the sand guy, right? And this guy's a sand guy.
Oh man, I wonder which came first. But
I have no idea. How old is this anime? I mean, literally the first time I heard about it was when you told me about it.
okay, I'll do the super quick history. This anime is from 2018, but the manga it's based on is closer to like the year 2000. And Baki is the 6th longest running manga of all time. It's very long.
Holy crap!
Yeah. I keep meaning to like confirm this because I feel like it's got smaller chapters or something, but there's more volumes of Baki than One Piece. So
Smaller chapters. That's a bad excuse.
but yeah, but that's yeah, so it's been going on for a while. I think Gaia is just his own thing because even though in this episode he seems to be entirely sand based, his real thing is that he's an environment based fighter. Like
He's a sand based superhero. Yeah.
Yeah, he to be fair, he did basically turn into Sandman during this fight.
He did.
multiple times.
Yeah.
So also just for context, if you're wondering where he got the teeth from, apparently they were just in the sand. There's a
Was
lot
this
of
like
teeth.
a burial, like a graveyard that they're fighting in? There's like an arena with people.
Yeah, it's where people fight, and it gets pretty intense, and they get their teeth knocked out, and it stays in the sand. Yeah, so at the end of the last episode, it ended with Gaia throwing some sand at Sikorsky, and this episode begins with that. Sikorsky has still found no adequate defense against it. But soon after, we find that was actually just a warm-up, and Gaia has another trick up his sleeves. Can you walk me through what his main trick this episode was?
Yeah, I took notes on this one. Okay, so it seems like he is able to use sand as a camouflage. Hold on, before I answer, are these people meant to be superheroes? Is this meant to be like a Tarantino style, like heightened reality, or are these literally like superheroes?
No, these are just regular dudes. They're regular dudes who are really good at martial arts.
Oh, true. Yeah, so he's using his special like sand jiu-jitsu or whatever to become invisible.
Hi there. It's camouflage.
He rubs sand all over his body to hide. He disappeared again. He's like the Invisible Man.
I did theorize on this. So, you know how like mirror is like glass, right? And glass is sand. So I guess he kind of made like an invisibility cloak for himself. I'm assuming that's like the explanation.
I guess that can make sense. Maybe like he is working out so hard that the heat of his body has melted the sand into glass, which makes him invisible in the sand. Yeah, why not? I think that makes sense.
So that happened.
All right, so we were talking about sand and the combat applications of such.
It's everywhere. It's coarse. It's irritating.
Yeah, no, I hate sand. But yeah, so what I enjoyed is after he coated himself in sand, did you notice how like every attack was like I don't even know how to describe it. Like the meanest type of attacks. Like he would kick him in the shins, kick him in the balls, poke him in the
it was
eyes.
like all ball shots or like punches in the face.
Yeah, I think he grabbed his nose at one point. Like I got your nose.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
It really makes you feel for Sikorsky at the end. Is he meant to be like a bad guy?
Oh my god. Yes, Sikorsky is a death row inmate who broke out of jail and came to Japan to taste defeat.
Oh, is he trying to like repent for his sins or something?
No, gosh, no. Oh my god. The first thing he did when he got here is he just threw dumbbells at a guy's face and then peed on him. And then he kidnaps Baki's girlfriend. Like he's a monster.
Okay. So is this meant to be like, are we rooting for Gaia? Because I thought he was an asshole.
Oh, I certainly was. I was cheering for Gaia. I hate Sikorsky.
Okay.
But I do agree. It's tough not to feel bad for him in this scenario. I don't think you could be treated worse than Sikorsky was here.
Honestly. And the thing was, I was expecting there to be like character arc, maybe Sikorsky, learns to fight back. He like uses his other senses that have been heightened because his eyes aren't working. But no, he just kind of like submits, and then the moral of the story is like, yeah, you really suck, and then the pain comes worse when you wait for it. It's like, oh my god.
The moral of the
that
story
was
is
opposite of a character arc.
The moral of the story is you should have gave up earlier. Like,
It's really fucked up.
I found it crazy that like, yeah, so Gaia just wails on him continuously, and at a certain point, like Sikorsky, at first he's trying to guard against it, and then he just goes in the fetal position.
In another 5 seconds, he's going to pound me again. 4 seconds. 3 seconds. This is it. Here it comes. Here it.
And then, but he didn't give up. Like, he just stayed in the fetal position for like 20 punches before going, all right, I'm done. Like, what is surrendering if not going into the fetal position?
Oh, totally. Yeah. I mean, I guess it's like your fight or flight, but then there's nowhere to run, so I guess you just kind of curl up. It was pretty messed up. I didn't like that, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, but we're getting a little. I guess we're not getting ahead of ourselves. We're just going all over the place. Yes, I wanted to touch on Gaia's like psychology thing because I think that was the whole moral of the fight.
Okay. I'm better than you.
No. That's the. I guess that's the secondary moral. But the idea that when you want something, the anticipation can go by quickly and enjoyably, but when you're worried about something, the anticipation is bad.
When you await the arrival of something happy, the time you have until it arrives is nothing short of pure bliss. But when it's terror that's on its way, the time you spend waiting for it to arrive, it is pure hell.
I mean, I'm not even sure if I've ever been in a situation where I've been like dreading something bad that's gonna happen to me.
Never in your life?
Well, I don't know. What kind of situations? Like, I thought I'd get laid off from my job when the pandemic happened, and that did happen. But, you know, apart from that, I don't know. Have you ever been in Sikorsky's shoes?
Well, I was at the post office and the other day, and the guy came up to me and said, "In 10 seconds, I'm gonna punch you in the face."
I'm gonna kick her in the nuts.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Maybe, yeah, like minor things, you know. Like I'm not a fan of getting a shot, you know.
Okay, fair enough.
It honestly, the pandemic made me read up on it. Because I'd always read the fact, you know, like if you ever get oxygen in your veins, that you'll just die. I always worried that somebody would forget to put the serum in and just accidentally insert a bunch of oxygen and just kill me immediately.
Do they load syringes up with pure oxygen before they do the shot?
No, this is the thing. Like I was looking it up to be like, how often does this happen? And it was like, it doesn't. You know, you never know. Maybe if they used it all up and then pulled it back and then used it again and reused the syringe on me for some reason, but
True. Yeah, but that's again not the most applicable situation for his moral. So yeah, I don't know. I wasn't really able to relate with the character. I thought he was kind of an asshole, but that's what I get for jumping into this, 23 episodes in.
Well, you know what the best part is about Guy as a character? So 22 episodes in, he was introduced, and I believe this is like
this is the second episode I saw him.
All you missed of Gaia is he came in and said, "I specialize in environmental warfare," pulled out a gun to say, "I don't need this," and then started throwing sand at Sikorsky. That's all the context you missed on Gaia.
Wow.
But yeah, like Gaia. So the thing about Baki is this 2018 anime is like following an anime from like the year 2000 basically. So Gaia had a bigger part in that anime, but to people who just watch the show because it's on Netflix like me, Gaia just shows up in episode 22 and he more or less leaves the show after this fight.
That is wild.
Yeah. He might come back next season. I'm sort of hoping for that.
Is there gonna be another season?
Of course. There is. Like this is the end of the Death Row inmate saga, and then the two next seasons that are out is the Great Chinese Rai Tai tournament and Baki goes to prison, and then the season that's going to come out I think around May I saw is going to be they revive a caveman and all of the martial artists have to fight him.
Oh God, yeah, I do remember you teasing that when I saw you last time.
Baki has a lot of crazy things, but I find that that's the easiest shorthand to sort of describe what the show's like.
Yeah. Sorry, and can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Does Baki appear in this episode? I'm not even sure there's a character named Baki.
Yes, Baki does. He's that guy who's kicking stuff in the opening. He's in the opening.
That doesn't count. He's in the opening. Is he in the episode?
No. Baki hasn't
Cool.
been in like the last 3 episodes.
Oh my god. Is this like a normal anime thing where they just kind of play fast and loose with, characters and important things like that?
No. Most shows that have a titular character like use them a lot.
Right, you'd think.
Yeah, I think it's just that Baki's one of those shows, like it's been going on for a while, and I feel like the author just sort of got more interested in, it's like The Simpsons, like over time you get more interested in the rest of the characters of Springfield because you've already done what you wanted to do with the main character.
Yeah, the universe is just so well developed, and characters appear for an episode.
Yeah. At the end of it, Sikorsky, after being kicked in the shins, kicked in the balls, poked in the eye, and just completely humiliated, finally gives up.
Stop! You win! You win! Just stop hitting me, please!
And yeah. So would you believe that Sikorsky like flew to Japan to be defeated? Because it doesn't look like he was enjoying himself.
Okay, so was the point that he was trying to lose eventually?
According to him, he came to Japan to taste defeat. That's
I
all.
think he was talking about someone's feet. I think he just likes to fight.
It was a translation error. He's got that thick Russian accent.
Oh my god,
Come
don't even
to
get me
taste
started on the
defeat.
accent. He sounded like the Count from Sesame Street. It was awful.
Well, you know what's funny? So I had Samita on the podcast a while back, and one of her comments, because Sikorsky was in it, and she just said, I don't even think he's Russian. I think he's just fake.
Yeah, I mean, it's like worst Russian accent I've ever heard, but if there wasn't an attempt, can you even call it a bad Russian accent?
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to miss
also
Sikorsky.
Sorry?
Just saying I'm going to miss Sikorsky. He has a good voice for radio.
Why are you hiding? Come out and face me like a man, you coward! Ah!
If you hadn't guessed, he got kicked in the balls again.
He really does. I like the actor's voice. It's just but the accent. And I just finished watching Black Widow like not too long ago, and Rachel Weisz in that one was awful.
Oh,
This is by far way worse.
Was that the mom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just say her name Weiss like a German. What a nerd.
Yeah, it's Rachel Weisz. Come on.
Rachel Weisz. Okay.
We speak English here. All right. So yeah, that's one half of the episode. But the fun thing about this one is there's an equally wild second half to this episode.
Well, and also like a third, like a B plot as well that I'm sure we're gonna get into.
Is there? Because I would. Oh, yeah. Okay. Who do you want to talk
finds,
about?
like an illusory cave or something.
Okay, yeah. Let's talk about Goki Shibukawa first. So the thing is, that plot ties into the other plot because he's walking to try and fight the guy who was smoking in the park. That's who he's walking towards.
Oh, okay. What's that guy? In my notes, he's the Green Goblin character because his voice very much sounds like Willem Dafoe's the Green Goblin.
Okay, wait. Let's define all of the names for a second.
Oh God.
I'm not sure who. Okay, so the man who has illusions that he has to walk through is Shibukawa.
Shibukawa. Okay. Yeah. Everyone remember that.
The guy who is in the park that Shibukawa is walking towards is Ryuko Yanagi, or Yanagi the
I did get that
Poisoner.
name.
Okay. The man who stumbles into Yanagi in the park is Mitobe.
Gramps.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gramps. And then the guy at the end of the episode, I don't want to spoil it. We'll get there when we get there.
Ooh, okay.
So,
I did get his name, yeah.
There is some history between Shibukawa and Yanagi. They go way back. And so it appears that Shibukawa has given a letter to Yanagi saying, meet me in the park. Why they're meeting in a children's park, I don't know. They always do
there was one line where the old guy was like, 2 warriors alone in a park at night. What could be better? Or something like that. I'm like, this is not okay what's going on here. You could have chosen it anywhere.
Yeah. Honestly, even just like beside the park. Like, don't get into the middle of it.
Yeah, like a McDonald's or something.
Oh my, there were probably two guys already fighting in the McDonald's parking lot. But yeah, so Shibukawa says, I'm going to challenge you to Yanagi. And so two things happen. Yanagi is chilling in the park, but let's focus first on what happens to Shibukawa, because he's trying to walk to the park to fight Yanagi. And there's an obstacle in the way. Could you describe the obstacle, Wilf?
Oh, hold on. Okay, it's a gate. And then we get like a flashback where he's like, "Just inside this gate, it's the last time I lost in battle."
It can't be.
One of only 2 defeats I have ever suffered came the last time I encountered this gate.
Then he just walks through it, so it's like an illusion.
Yeah.
So I guess there's magic in this universe?
No. So when you get really good at martial arts, your body, in an effort to prevent you from losing, okay. his brain conjured this gate as a way of saying, like, you will lose if you walk through this gate. It's just another form of martial arts, like, and being able to win a fight. Yeah.
You should not approach an opponent you cannot beat. Even if you ignore this rule and make an attempt to do so, you will find yourself unable to reach one whose ability surpasses that of your own.
So he walks through.
It's illusion created by his own mind. Ah, okay. And then, so I'll go on. And then he finds like a cave with a cliff. But I assume that's just an illusion as well. If
Yep.
we're going by. Okay. Starting to get this. So he's like lured by the challenge, and he can't turn away. That kind of thing.
Yeah, it's your conscious is like, I'm gonna win, but his subconscious is like, you will lose. Coming here is like crossing the ocean. It's like falling off.
It's like
a
the
cliff.
Truman Show, where they keep trying to like get him to turn back, but he's like, I gotta figure out what's out there.
It is 100% like the Truman Show.
Truman Show.
Oh my god. Yeah, and then literally one of the things he has to pass is just an ocean of water that he has to walk through. Just like Truman. But yeah, so Shibukawa tried to get into this fight, but he was slowed down because his brain knew that he would lose to Yanagi. Now, this must mean that Yanagi is a great fighter. So I'm sure that this fight between him and Mitobe... by the way, you know how I said Gaia was introduced last episode?
Yeah.
Mitobe is introduced in this episode.
Who has this show been about the last 22 episodes?
Well, Baki's been in a few episodes.
Oh, I forgot. Okay.
The thing is, this season is about defeating 5 death row inmates. Sikorsky and Yanagi are 2 of them, so a lot of the season's been about the other 3.
Did Yanagi just like break out of prison?
Yanagi was in a Cannibal Lecter type of glass cage, or like Magneto's cage from X2. And he put his hand on the wall and then used the vacuum caused by his palm to break the glass.
Bruce Lee did that, I think. Yeah. The 1-inch punch.
And well, no, he didn't punch. He used the suction power of vacuum to pull, and it was pulling, not pushing.
Ah, right.
And then he blew a guy's
like
brains
a hand
out.
fart, right?
Yes, it's exactly like that.
Yep.
Also, I just want to clarify, because any opportunity I'll say this. He walked up to a guy, asked him what the deadliest gas is, and then said, "This gas," and put his hands over his ears and blew the guy's brain out his other ear.
With what?
His
breath?
His lungs, yeah.
Oh, God.
Anyway, that's Yanagi. In case you were feeling any sympathy for this guy.
Which I was, because the guy just comes into the park and beats the shit out of him. Yeah,
want to walk us through. First of all, what were your impressions on Mitobe? Because we don't know who that is. And how did things go? Mitobe, the Gramps character who comes in to fight.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah, I've already got names confused. Also, I was talking about Shang-Chi because they have that big gate, and I was like, we're seeing parallels here. Mitobe, yeah, old guy. He comes in.
And who might you be, Gramps?
I'm Izo Mitobe. Word is you're a pretty good martial artist.
Izo Mitobe, practitioner of Motobe-style combat jujitsu.
A loner who's well versed in numerous melee weapons and on a quest for extreme combat.
Editor Steve here. Did you notice that the narrator and the character pronounce Matobe's name differently?
I'm Izo Matobe.
Izo Motobe.
Toby.
I was kind of rooting for him at first because I figured, like, oh, he's old, he's going to be weak. What happens? Well, he cuts his hand off. That's kind of it. He just kind of beats the shit out of him, cuts his hand off, and then that... Whoa, we're going to spoiler territory. Should we talk about the ending?
Well, just to give a little bit more context on the fight, because Matobe, he first throws a samurai sword into Yanagi's leg.
Yes, that's true. I forgot about the... Yeah. So Yanagi gets his leg just skewered with a sword.
Yeah.
And then his hand chopped off, and there's something about poison as well. I didn't really know what was going on there.
Yes,
Don't
listeners,
like that, I think.
Unfortunately, Yanagi's poison hand that he got from dipping it in poison sand has now been cut off of his body.
Was that like a weapon he was using, like the Spider-Man, like I can shock you or something like that?
Yeah, if he slapped you with the poison hand, you would be poisoned and die.
Oh.
Okay. The thing that I actually really liked about this fight, and it's so fun when I realized that the things in this show are intentional. So all season I've been complaining about Yanagi because most fighters on this show have a gimmick, right? Like, I'm the fighter who uses the environment, like Gaia. Or Sikorsky, he didn't get a chance to show it, but he has very strong fingers. And even Matobe is the weapons guy. He brings weapons to fights.
Jiu-jitsu is the martial art of the battlefield. It's not just about swords. I'm a master of many weapons.
Yanagi has had 5 different gimmicks throughout the season. He has a vacuum hand, he has a poison hand, he has weapons that he swings around, he has slaps that are so strong that he can rip your skin off. And I've been complaining all season that this guy just has too many gimmicks. And then Matobe said, basically, you would be a better fighter if you just used your martial arts skills instead of relying on all of this stupid stuff.
I'm disappointed, Yanagi. You're a far more skilled martial artist than I am, but you're still outmatched. Why do you think you've fallen so far behind? Let me spell it out for you. You placed your faith in something other than your well-honed mind and body. And by doing so, you've seriously restricted your abilities.
And
yeah.
I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the like something that I was complaining about was intentional.
Yeah, totally. Like, hey, this character isn't very good. And then the writers were like, make him better.
The writers were like, let's beat the shit out of him. Yeah, so before Matobe can finish him off with his sweet sword, Yujiro Hanma shows up. That's Baki's dad.
Incredible Hulk.
You might wanna take a look behind you.
Yujiro!
Yeah.
It's Baki's dad?
Yeah, it's Baki's dad.
Wow. He didn't look in a year past, I don't know, 40, 50.
Yeah, I think that's about it. Baki's pretty young. Like, he's in high school.
Oh, God, it's one of those. Okay.
He's the world's strongest high schooler, as I believe he's
Is that his gimmick? He's in high school?
It's a little bit. Like, he's
14.
Well, he's a little short, you know, so he relies a lot on his technique. But yeah, so
so his dad is like a superhuman.
Oh my God! Well,
8 feet tall.
His dad is the strongest man alive, and it is not even close. In fact, he's called the strongest creature on Earth, and sometimes he fights elephants.
Yeah. Okay. So is he a good guy?
No, not at all. Ooh. To be fair, he hasn't done anything bad in this entire series, really, like, because he hasn't really done anything other than tell his son to have sex to get stronger.
Oh, come on. He's in high school.
Well,
that's very problematic. I think.
Yeah, well, honestly, good way to describe him. I'm actually
that's his gimmick.
It's actually funny. I'm trying to think of, like, because Yujiro's a bad guy, but almost all of the stuff happened before this anime started, And I'm thinking that, like, if you only watched this show, other than people's reaction to him, he doesn't really do that many bad things. Like, he's in a few episodes, he's going to start talking about how important the civil rights movement was to him. So, yeah.
Like from 1960s America?
Yes. Yeah. No, well, I don't want to spoil too much, but he does talk to Muhammad Ali.
Wow. In this household, we stand Rosa Parks.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, with no, I always approach this show the way Netflix intended it, which is just watching only the episodes available on Netflix. And in that respect, Yujiro, unless I'm forgetting something, is a perfectly fine dude. Editor Steve, I forgot that I'm pretty sure he hired Sikorsky to kidnap Kozue, but at the same time, he didn't say anything when Baki showed up, and I don't know. It was very weird what he was trying to do there anyway. Yeah, no, he's the main antagonist of the show, I'd say, and
he just shows up.
Yeah, well, you heard that there was some strong guys around and wanted to show them who's the strongest.
Oh yeah, he's like, I smell a hunk.
Yeah,
he was in the opening credits. I had to go investigate.
Oh man, so what does he do to show how strong he is?
Oh, he like snaps old man's sword in a bunch of pieces,
and he does it with just his thumb.
Was it just his thumb? I think I missed that. Yeah, he doesn't try too hard.
Yeah, snaps it in half. And then he turns to Yanagi. Yanagi is a pile of blood and bones at this point also.
Yeah, his hand cut off, hemorrhaging blood, which I found very off-putting.
A lot of teeth on the ground, probably into the sand of the playground.
Yeah.
I think Yujiro said something like, "So you want to be defeated?" or something like that. I forget what the line was.
I also forget.
Yeah, and that's the end of the episode.
Like that. I had very mixed feelings about, just the momentum of the episode and all that.
The thing, this is what I always say with like the act breaks in this show. Like, it's a show that's meant to be binged. Like, I think that they adapt from the source material very like literally, which means that episodes just end when they hit 22 minutes. So it's a blast.
Yeah, you know what? I almost clicked on the next episode. Like, I was simultaneously really disappointed, but also like I wanted to see more because nothing happens in 20 minutes. Nothing happens, and it goes by in the span of like 5 minutes. And I was like, I've got to see what's next, because we've had like 3 minutes worth of story stretched out over 3 storylines, and that's the end of the episode. And I have zero context going in or out. It was really frustrating, and also like I'm super into this.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. That's actually my question. After, now that we've talked about the episode, now that you've watched an episode of Baki, do you think that it was or that it is a good show?
I mean, I can't say that. I enjoyed it though. I can't call this a good show.
That's fair.
It was very entertaining.
Yeah. It's a common reprieve. I enjoyed watching it. It's not a good show.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nah.
I mean, it felt like a whole episode of filler. Like, I can't believe they got away with that.
No, that was 100% plot focused beat down. And we learned a lot of things. We learned that when you're not looking forward to something, it can be really bad. And we learned to not bring scythes on rope to a sword fight.
Yeah, that's true. No, use your poison hand. You don't need accoutrements or anything. Just go without the weapons.
Yeah,
because Iron Man and Batman, bad superheroes, right? Because they rely too much on tech.
They should just poison their hands and then slap people with it.
Yeah. I do think Baki is making a commentary on like today's comic book culture and just like what we value in story. Really just a slap in the face to Marvel. So I do think it has balls for that. Yeah.
And they did it all 20 years ago. 8 years before Iron Man came out, they were saying this.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Wilf, for coming on the podcast. This was a blast.
Absolutely. I also want to talk about the credit sequences briefly as well, if we have time for that.
Yeah, sure, of course.
I mean, zero context. So for my issue with the opening credits were, I mean, at the same time extremely boring and like complete sensory overload, and then we get a character we've never seen before and will never see in this episode. So it was just a little confusing. But then at the end, we get like the rogues gallery of what I assume is every character in the show except for the ones that we saw in this episode. I didn't recognize anybody.
So it's basically every character who doesn't matter. Like, literally, it's all background characters and dudes who have one line.
I mean, come on.
And
then at the end, like, the Yeti pops out, and it's just like, all right, cool.
Yeah, we're going to meet him for the first time in, like, 3 episodes.
Oh, my God. I can't wait.
Yeah, he's a... Yeah, it's so funny. I always zoom past the credits because, like... You know, it's the one commonality that we discuss every episode. But I always forget how each person is just like, is there a Yeti in the back of...
Yeah, and then we got like a nice, I don't know, J-pop singer, like just really pretty female voice. 0 female characters, as I noticed. I don't think there's a single one. I don't think they employed any female voice actors in this.
No. There's only one female character in the show, and it's Baki's girlfriend. I will show you after this the only scene of Baki that passes the Bechdel test, because
I was about to say, yeah, these writers have never heard of the Bechdel test, and that's disappointing.
You won't believe this. I'll show you in a second. Anyway, that's our episode, folks. That's all
hold
the
on,
Baki.
Are you gonna be editing this?
Yeah, we'll be.
Sorry, do you want to end this like right now? I do have a couple more things I've written down that I want to talk about.
Yeah. Okay, you lead the way. I'm down.
Sure. I really hope you edit all this out.
I'm not editing that out.
The one thing that threw me off. Okay, so there's like an old guy in the arena when the fighting happens.
Yeah, Tokugawa.
Have we mentioned him before?
On the podcast? Yes. In this episode? No.
Okay, because like he had more lines than most of the characters, and it's like, you see that? He lost. I'm like, who is this dude? That just confused me.
That's the guy who owns the fighting pit. Also, it's not clear, but he also kidnapped Sikorsky to get him here to fight a different dude. He brought him in. Each time I go one step back to explain what I'm saying, I realize like it's not like I was about to say like he hired a guy to shove him into a phone booth, which they then put on the back of a truck and drove into the arena. And then that guy got bored of fighting him because he was so strong that he tagged in, and then Gaia showed up and threw sand at him. But hopefully that helps clear it up.
Totally. And the last thing was just a story thing. So we have this brilliant exposition monologue stuff, especially with the gentleman whose body is trying to create illusions to prevent him from losing. I can't remember his name, but
Shibukawa.
Yeah, Shibukawa has like this great voiceover thing. Then you hear, his inner monologue in a flashback, but then there's also a narrator.
One of only 2 defeats I have ever suffered came the last time I encountered this gate.
Back then, Shibukawa had been making his way to the Tournament Maximus semifinals to face Jack Hanley.
Yeah.
It's like 2 different levels of exposition. I just don't think that they thought about this at all. Was there like a narrator in the manga as well? Like an omniscient character?
I'm actually a bit curious about that. So they've relied on the narrator a lot earlier in the show, but it was mostly to tell you things that you would have no idea about what's going on because the last episode of the anime aired 20 years ago. Like, I think a lot of narration is inserted for the anime and not actually from the source material, just to sort of like grease the wheels and keep things moving a little bit. And so it does come off clunky a fair amount of the time.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm being too harsh. I've been in film school for 2 years, so I've been thinking a lot about writing. I'm being a bit of a snob here.
Oh, no worries. That's the joy of this show, is coming at Baki from a critical angle. Because like I love this show, but like it's trying to understand why. That's the fun part.
Yeah, it is very fun. I was a bit surprised. I was like, holy shit, this doesn't seem like the kind of thing Steve would be into based on my admittedly, not too close relationship with him. Like, I don't know you that well, but I was surprised. But I also get it.
For listeners, I saw Wilf on the street and said, "You want to come on a podcast?" And then
yeah. I didn't know anything about him, but he seemed kind, and he was like, "Hey, it's about anime," and I was like, "Cool," I know Naruto, and then he locked me in a room and showed me this, but I did have fun.
That's the important thing. You can't press charges if you had fun.
We're gonna end on that note.
That was way darker than I was hoping. That's gonna get edited out.
Okay, great.
All right, that's all the Baki we've got to talk. I'll see y'all next week.
Bye.